Okay, let's have a go at our exam style question. So the depth of water in a port is modeled by the function d of t in the period from 0 to 12 hours after high tide. At high tide, the depth is 9.7. At low tide, 7 hours later, the depth is 5.3. Start by sketching the information so you get a better understanding of it. So just draw some axes. I'm going to label my axes. So this is going to be time in hours. This is going to be depth in meters. Our first piece of information is high tide is at 9.7, and that's when 0 hours. That's going to be at 0 hours. So here at this point, we have 0, 9.7. We have an x. Low tide is 7 hours later, and it's at a depth of 5.3. So 5.3 is about here, and this is 7, 5.3. It's a cosine function. So the curve is going to be looking like this. It's going to look something like that. You see the idea of formula. So for question A, we wish to find P. Now P is given here in the model. P is given here. This is the amplitude of the function. So P is the amplitude. We can use the formula for amplitude, which is max minus min over 2. That's going to give us 9.7 minus 5.3 over 2, which is equal to 2.2. B. B we're asked to find. Now this coefficient here relates to the period, so we need to find the period. We can find the period in the graph. We know that this distance here is 7. So this distance here, continuing the period, is also going to be 7. So here we've got 7. Here we've got another 7. So the period is equal to 7 plus 7, 14. The coefficient Q is given by the formula 360 degrees divided by period. So that's going to be 360 degrees, and our period is going to be 14 degrees. This is going to give us 180 over 7, which as a decimal value is 25.7. Now, when you're modeling, you don't want to use an approximate value, you want to use the exact value. So our model now is d of t is equal to 2.2 cosine of 180 over 7 times x plus 7.5. This is our model. Use the model to find the depth after 10 hours. So we're looking for the depth, 10 hours. This is a time, it's an x value. When you get a question like this one, it's either going to be the x value or the y value, and you can figure out which one it is by looking at the units. The units in this case are hours. The time is in hours, that's our x values. So we're putting in a value of t. So we've got d of 10. So we need to put 2.2 times the cosine of 180 over 7 times 10 plus 7.5. We can type that into our calculator. It'll tell us that the time is going to be, let me just calculate that. After 10 hours, the depth is going to be 7.01 meters, I believe.